Two people can earn the exact same paycheck and end up in completely different worlds. One stays broke forever, the other quietly builds wealth. The difference almost never comes down to luck or salary. It comes down to 12 quiet rules. These are not secrets that rich families hide. They are simple habits, and most people break every single one without noticing. Before we start, let me be clear. Being broke is not a moral failing, and life can be genuinely unfair. But these 12 rules are the part you actually control. And control is where everything changes. I'm going to walk you through all 12, one at a time, with the real numbers behind each one. By the end you'll see exactly why two flat lines slowly become a canyon. Same start, wildly different finish. Maybe you recognize this feeling. The money comes in, and somehow it's already gone. And maybe you've watched someone on the same income seem completely at ease. That ease is built, not born. Think of these rules as 12 keys. You don't need all 12 to start, but the more you turn, the more opens up. We're starting with the one rule that quietly fixes almost everything else. It does not matter if you're 19 or 59. The next dollar you earn is enough to begin. Grab something to write with. A few of these will genuinely change how you handle your next paycheck. Alright. Let's get into rule number 1. Money rule number 1. Pay yourself first, every single time money lands in your hands. Here it is. Pay yourself first. Most people pay everyone else first and try to save whatever is left. The wealthy flip it completely. Their savings come off the very top, before a single bill is touched. When you only save what's left at the end of the month, there is almost never anything left. Spending quietly expands to swallow your whole paycheck. Pay everyone else first, and your future self ends up with nothing. Year after year, that savings bar just stays frozen at zero. Wealthy people treat their savings like a bill they owe themselves. The instant money arrives, a fixed slice vanishes into savings on autopilot. It's the same income and the same person. The only thing that changed is the order the money moves in. Saving just $200 first, every month, quietly builds $2,400 a year. You never feel it leave, because you never got the chance to spend it. This single habit takes willpower out of the equation. You're not fighting temptation, the money is simply already gone before temptation ever shows up. The great lie is that you'll save once you earn more. People who can't save on a small income rarely save on a big one. The habit matters more than the amount. Do this for 10 years and that little slice grows into something real. The line that started flat begins climbing all on its own. Set up an automatic transfer for the same day your income lands. Make saving the first thing that happens, never the last. You don't need a bigger salary to start this one. You just need to pay yourself first, beginning with the very next dollar you earn. That's rule 1. Now let's move on to rule 2. Rule number 2. Never borrow money just to look richer than you actually are. Here it is. Don't borrow to impress. There's good debt that buys things that grow, and bad debt that buys things that shrink. The broke confuse the two constantly, financing a lifestyle instead of an asset. High-interest debt for clothes, gadgets, and nights out is a slow trap. You enjoy it for a weekend and pay for it for years. Put $1,000 on a card at 24% and pay slowly, and that $1,000 can quietly cost you over $1,200. You paid extra just to wait. Wealthy people are strangely comfortable looking ordinary. They borrow to buy things that pay them back, almost never to impress strangers. Borrowing to buy a depreciating toy drains you. Borrowing to buy something that earns can lift you. Same tool, opposite outcomes. Paying only the minimum can stretch a small balance across years and double its true cost. The bank loves nothing more than your patience with their interest. Every luxury bought on credit is a piece of your future income already spent. You're sending money to a lender instead of to your older self. Yes, almost everyone carries this kind of debt. That's exactly why almost everyone stays broke. Normal is not the same as smart. Carry bad debt for years and it follows you everywhere. Refuse it, and you stay light enough to actually build something. Before any credit purchase, ask 3 things. Can I pay cash? Will this grow in value? And do I truly need it? If it's 3 no's, walk away. You can drop the act today. Looking rich and being rich are 2 very different games, and only one of them lets you sleep at night. That's rule 2. Now let's move on to rule 3. Rule number 3. Always spend less than you earn, no matter how much that is. Here it is. Live below your means. The secret isn't earning a fortune, it's keeping a gap between what comes in and what goes out. That gap is the raw material of all wealth. A bigger paycheck usually just buys a bigger lifestyle. The raise disappears into a nicer car and a pricier apartment, and the gap stays at 0. When spending rises to match every raise, you can earn double and still save nothing. More income with no gap just means more expensive stress. Quietly wealthy people often live well below what they could afford. The space between their income and their lifestyle is where their freedom grows. Same salary, 2 choices. One person spends right up to the edge, the other carves out a wide margin and turns it into wealth. Get a 20% raise and keep living like before, and you can save that entire raise. Most people never feel poorer, yet build far faster. Lifestyle creep is so slow you barely notice it. The fix is simple. When your income rises, let your savings rise first, and your lifestyle last. You do deserve to enjoy life. But spending every cent the moment it arrives isn't enjoyment, it's just delaying a problem you'll meet later, larger. Protect that gap for years and it compounds into real options. You eventually buy back something money usually steals, your own time. Try splitting your income into needs, wants, and future. Even a small slice locked away for the future keeps a gap alive every month. You don't have to live small forever. You just have to keep a gap, because that gap is quietly buying your freedom one paycheck at a time. That's rule 3. Now let's move on to rule 4. Rule number 4. Don't just save your money, put it to work earning more money. Here it is. Make money work for you. Cash sitting still slowly loses value to inflation. Invested money works around the clock, earning while you sleep, eat, and live your life. Money hidden under the mattress feels safe, but it quietly shrinks every year as prices rise. Doing nothing with cash is itself a slow loss. Leave $10,000 in idle cash and after a decade of rising prices it may buy far less, maybe the value of $7,000. Standing still moves you backward. The wealthy plant their money like seeds in investments and let it grow. They earn from their work and from their money at the same time. Idle savings slowly leak value. Invested money compounds. Over the years the 2 paths separate into completely different lives. $10,000 invested at a steady 8% can roughly double in about a decade, with no extra work from you. That's your money earning its own paycheck. The earlier you start, the more the magic works, because growth builds on previous growth. Time in the market quietly beats trying to time the market. Investing isn't a club for the rich, it's how people become wealthy in the first place. Modern tools let you start with the price of a meal. Compounding is slow, then sudden. The first years feel boring, then the curve bends sharply upward as your gains start earning gains. Open a simple low-cost investment account and automate a small monthly amount into a broad index fund. Boring and consistent wins this game. You don't need to be an expert or rich to begin. You just need your money doing more than sleeping, starting with a small, steady step. That's Rule 4. Now let's move on to Rule 5. Rule number 5. Never rely on just a single source of income. Here it is. Multiple income streams. One income is one heartbeat away from disaster. The wealthy build several streams, so if one dries up, the others keep the household afloat. When one paycheck pays for everything, one bad day at work can sink the whole ship. A single income is a single point of failure. Lose that one job and income instantly hits zero. With nothing else flowing in, savings drain fast and panic sets in. Wealthy people rarely depend on one stream. A job, a side hustle, some investment income, so no single loss can take them down. One pipe means one risk. Several pipes mean stability, and together they often fill the bucket far faster than one ever could. A side stream of even a few $100s a month changes everything. Stacked on top of your job, it speeds up every other goal on this list. Extra streams don't just add money, they add courage. When you're not terrified of losing one job, you make far bolder, smarter decisions. It feels like there's no time, but a stream doesn't need to be huge. A few focused hours a week can plant something that grows quietly for years. Over the years, small extra streams compound and stack. What began as pocket money can grow into income that quietly rivals the main job. List one skill, one thing you own, and one thing you know well. Each is a possible second stream. Pick the easiest one and start this month. You don't have to build 5 streams overnight. Just add one more besides your job, and watch how much safer your whole life starts to feel. That's Rule 5. Now let's move on to Rule 6. Rule number 6. Always keep a cushion of cash set aside for emergencies. Here it is. Keep an emergency fund. Life will throw surprises, a car repair, a medical bill, a lost job. The broke meet these with credit cards. The wealthy meet them with cash already waiting. With no cushion, every emergency becomes a debt. A sudden bill forces you onto a high-interest card, and the hole only gets deeper. A $600 surprise, paid with debt, snowballs into interest, fees, and stress. The emergency itself was never the real damage. The financially secure simply pay the surprise from a fund built exactly for this. The emergency becomes an annoyance instead of a catastrophe. The same emergency hits both people. One falls into debt, the other walks right over it on a bridge they built in advance. Aim eventually for 3 to 6 months of expenses, but start with a first goal of $1,000. That starter cushion alone stops most small crises from becoming debt. An emergency fund isn't an investment, it's insurance for your peace of mind. Its real job is to keep one bad week from undoing years of progress. A credit card is not an emergency fund, it's an emergency that charges you interest. Real safety is cash that's already yours, sitting and waiting. With a cushion, life's regular shocks barely move you. Without one, you keep getting knocked back to zero, never able to build past survival. Open a separate account just for this, and feed it automatically until you hit 1,000, then keep going toward a few months of expenses. You can't predict the storm, but you can build the umbrella now. Even a small fund turns future disasters into manageable bad days. That's Rule 6. Now let's move on to Rule 7. Rule number 7. Spend your money on things that put money back into your pocket. Here it is. Buy assets, not liabilities. An asset feeds you over time. A liability eats you over time. The broke fill their lives with liabilities and call it success. A shiny car, the latest phone, designer clothes. These feel like wins, but they take money out of your pocket every month they exist. Most prized purchases lose value the moment you own them and cost money to keep. They're liabilities wearing the costume of success. The wealthy chase assets, things that earn. A share of a business, a rental, a skill that sells. Each one pays them, instead of charging them. Liabilities take money from you on repeat. Assets give money to you on repeat. The wealthy simply own far more of the second kind. 20,000 spent on a car quietly drains you. 20,000 placed in assets might hand you over 1,000 a year. Same money, opposite direction. Before any big purchase, ask one question. Will this feed me or eat me? That single question reshapes how you spend for the rest of your life. Things you must keep paying for aren't truly assets, even when they're useful. A real asset puts money in your pocket without you working for it. Buy assets for years and they multiply, paying for the liabilities you want. Buy only liabilities, and you stay on a treadmill that never ends. List your recent big purchases and sort each one, asset or liability. Then make a quiet rule: let assets buy your liabilities, never the reverse. You don't have to give up nice things. You just buy them with money your assets earned, so the things you love never quietly own you. That's Rule 7. Now let's move on to Rule 8. Rule number 8. Stop spending money you don't have to impress people who don't care. Here it is. Stop faking wealth. There's a huge difference between looking rich and being rich. One is a costume that drains you, the other is a quiet balance sheet that frees you. Flashy clothes, status photos, the newest everything. It buys a few seconds of admiration and a lifetime of being broke behind the scenes. The money you burn to impress strangers is gone, but the strangers forget you in seconds. You paid full price for an audience that never showed up. Many truly wealthy people look completely ordinary on purpose. The car is modest, the clothes are simple, the bank account is the part that's loud. One person performs wealth and quietly drowns. The other performs nothing and quietly owns. Appearances and reality often point in opposite directions. $300 a month spent looking impressive is gone forever. That same $300 invested for 20 years could become a fortune. The costume was never free. Real wealth is invisible. It's the money you didn't spend, sitting quietly and growing. The flashiest spenders are very often the most fragile. You don't have to perform success to build it. In fact, the energy and money spent faking it are the very things that keep real wealth out of reach. The show-off impresses people now and runs out later. The quiet builder impresses no one now and is free for the rest of their life. Before a status purchase, ask honestly who it's really for. If the answer is to impress others, that's almost always money better kept. You can let go of the performance today. The freedom of not needing anyone's approval is worth more than every logo you could ever wear. That's Rule 8. Now let's move on to Rule 9. Rule number 9. Pour money and time into the one asset that always pays back, yourself. Here it is. Invest in yourself. The broke see learning as an expense once school ends. The wealthy treat their own skills as the highest return investment they will ever make. When learning stops the day school ends, your income tends to freeze too. The world keeps moving, and standing still slowly becomes falling behind. Without new skills, your earning power stalls while the cost of living climbs. Standing still in a moving world quietly makes you poorer each year. Wealthy people never stop learning. A course, a book, a new skill. They know a sharper mind is the one asset no market crash can take away. Two people, same starting point. One stops growing, one keeps sharpening. A few years later their opportunities aren't even in the same universe. A $500 course that lifts your income by $5,000 a year is a tenfold return, every year. No stock reliably beats a skill that pays. Skills compound just like money. Each one makes the next one easier to learn and more valuable, until your earning power grows almost on its own. You're never too old or too busy to add one skill. 20 focused minutes a day, over a year, can quietly turn you into someone new. Keep learning for a decade and your value climbs and climbs. The person who stopped is left competing on price for work nobody else wants. Pick one valuable skill and give it 20 minutes a day. A course, a book, a tutorial. Small daily reps build into a powerful, well-paid you. You are your own best investment, and the returns last a lifetime. Bet on yourself, because that's the one asset you'll always carry with you. That's Rule 9. Now let's move on to Rule 10. Rule number 10. Be patient, because wealth is built slowly and lost quickly. Here it is. Patience beats schemes. The broke chase quick money and shortcuts. The wealthy understand that real money grows quietly, over years, through the slow magic of compounding. Lottery tickets, hot tips, miracle schemes. Chasing fast money usually leads to fast losses. The promise of overnight wealth is how people stay broke for life. Most get-rich-quick paths quietly transfer your money to someone else. The faster the promised return, the faster you usually lose your stake. The wealthy treat money like a tree. They plant, they wait, and they resist the urge to dig it up early. Their patience is their secret weapon. Quick money flashes bright and disappears. Compounding grows boring and slow, then suddenly towers above everything the gamblers ever had. $300 a month, invested patiently for 30 years, can grow into hundreds of thousands. Most of that is growth, not the money you put in. Compounding rewards the calm and punishes the impatient. The hardest part isn't picking investments, it's leaving them alone long enough to work. The feeling that you can't wait is exactly what scammers sell to. The truth is, the sooner you start and the longer you wait, the easier it all gets. The early years feel like nothing is happening. Then the curve bends sharply and your patience pays off all at once. Slow is fast in disguise. Start now, invest steadily, and then leave it completely alone. Set it, automate it, and let boredom and time do the heavy lifting. You don't need a shortcut, you need a head start and the patience to wait. Plant the tree today, and let the years make you wealthy. That's Rule 10. Now let's move on to Rule 11. Rule number 11. Always know exactly where your money is going. Here it is. Track every dollar. The broke have no idea where their money disappears to. The wealthy track every dollar, because you cannot control what you refuse to look at. When you don't track your spending, money just vanishes. Small forgotten charges and impulse buys quietly drain you, and you never even see it happen. Tiny untracked charges add up frighteningly fast. A few subscriptions and impulse buys can quietly bleed hundreds a month while you wonder where it all went. The wealthy know their numbers cold. They review where money goes, catch the leaks, and redirect that money toward things that actually matter to them. One person spends in a fog and hopes for the best. The other sees everything clearly and decides on purpose. Clarity itself is a kind of wealth. Simply watching your spending often frees up a few hundred a month with no real sacrifice. That found money, redirected, quietly powers every other rule. Tracking isn't about guilt or restriction. It's about awareness. Once you see where money goes, fixing the leaks becomes almost effortless. A budget isn't a punishment, it's a plan that tells your money where to go. Done right, it gives you more freedom to spend, not less, because you spend on purpose. Track for years and those redirected leaks compound into serious wealth. Ignore it, and you keep earning more while wondering why nothing ever adds up. Track every dollar for 1 month using an app or notebook. Then review it weekly. You'll instantly spot leaks you can plug without missing a thing. You can't fix what you can't see, so start by simply looking. 1 month of honest tracking will tell you more than years of guessing ever did. That's Rule 11. Now let's move on to Rule 12. Rule number 12. Once you build wealth, protect it fiercely. Here it is. Protect what you build. Building wealth is only half the game. The broke leave their progress exposed to one disaster. The wealthy wrap their lives in protection so nothing wipes them out. You can do everything right for years, then lose it all to one accident, illness, or lawsuit. Wealth left unprotected is wealth waiting to vanish. A single uninsured disaster, a major illness or accident, can erase years of careful building in an afternoon. The cost of no protection is everything. The wealthy build a wall around what they own. Health cover, the right insurance, a simple plan for their family. They guard the castle, not just build it. Two people built the same wealth. One left it exposed and lost it to a single shock. The other shielded it and walked through the storm untouched. A modest amount spent on the right protection guards a lifetime of savings. It's the cheapest insurance there is against losing everything you built. Protection feels like wasted money right up until the day it saves your entire life's work. The wealthy buy it precisely because they have something to lose. Everyone feels invincible until the day they aren't. Protection isn't pessimism, it's the quiet confidence to keep what you worked so hard to build. Protected wealth survives life's shocks and keeps climbing. Unprotected wealth can be undone in a single bad moment, no matter how long you spent building it. Make sure you have basic health cover, the right insurance for your situation, and a simple plan for your family. Build the wall while the castle is still standing. You worked too hard to lose it to one bad day. Protect what you build, and your wealth becomes something that lasts well beyond you. That's all 12 rules. But before you go, here's the part most people completely miss. You just learned the 12 rules that quietly separate the broke from the building. Let's lock them in with a quick recap. Rule 1: Pay yourself first. Save off the top before anything else. Rule 2: Never borrow just to look rich. Avoid debt that only buys you a costume. Rule 3: Live below your means. Protect the gap between earning and spending. Rule 4: Make your money work. Invest it so it earns while you sleep. Rule 5: Build more than one income. Never balance your whole life on one job. Rule 6: Always keep an emergency fund. Turn disasters into mere bad days. Rule 7: Buy assets, not liabilities. Own things that feed you, not eat you. Rule 8: Stop trying to look rich. Be rich quietly instead. Rule 9: Invest in your own skills. They're the asset no market can take. Rule 10: Be patient and let it compound. Slow is fast in disguise. Rule 11: Know where every coin goes. You can't fix what you won't look at. Rule 12: Protect what you build. Guard the castle, don't just raise it. Here's the part nobody tells you. You don't need all 12 perfectly. You just need to stop breaking them one by one. Remember those 2 flat lines from the start. 20 years of these habits is exactly what turns the same income into 2 completely different lives. You're not behind, and you're not stuck. You just got the rules. What you do with the next dollar is entirely up to you. So don't try to do all 12 today. Pick just one rule, the one that hit hardest, and start it this week. If this gave you even one idea worth keeping, you know what to do. Take care of your money, and it will take care of you.